New Zealand, family violence has always been a big problem. The total recorded number of family violence offences in 2008 was 44,628, and it has only increased since then. As you can see, this is only from 1 year's worth of statistics. Imagine how many family violence offences have been committed in the last 20 years. It's not okay. The movie Once We're Warriors, starring Tim Morrison and Rena Owen, is a perfect example of family violence. This movie is about a Māori man, Jay Keke, living in the Auckland slums. Jay Keke has a terrible temper that he takes out on family and strangers alike. His wife Beth takes regular beatings after Jake has been to the pub. And his kids, they do whatever they can to keep their family stable and together. The family is unstable due to the father's problems, even though the mother is always trying to fix these problems. This unfortunately gave the kids more roles around the house. Nick, the eldest, is joining a street gang, while Boogie has been placed in a foster home. And Grace is forever writing stories to block out the troubles in her life. This movie has scenes of violence that are acted out by fellow New Zealanders in real life. I will talk about some of the problems under Jay Keke and how they are representative of family violence in New Zealand. Problem 1 is male assaults female. Jake has an explosive temper and is very abusive. This is exacerbated by alcohol, but he can't blame it on anything but himself. When intoxicated, he tends to get out of hand if pissed off. By out of hand, I mean aggressive, abusive, and offensive. He gets angry and is not thinking straight. In New Zealand, this action is committed a lot. Problem 2 is child abuse. Jake tends to swear abusively and grab his kids aggressively. This had a major effect on the kids, as they were mostly depressed, and the older sister was the only reason that the kids were sometimes happy. This crime is also committed a lot over New Zealand. These problems were acted out while Jake was under the influence of alcohol. Therefore, the third problem is alcoholism. I strongly believe someone like Jake should have limited access to alcohol and should be given help to stop drinking, maybe rehabilitation centres. Family violence is a huge issue in New Zealand, and a change needs to be made. My beliefs are the government should make the offence more known and increase the punishment to make families aware that this needs to stop. Campaigns have been created in order to help victims and offenders of this crime. For example, It's Not Okay. The members in this campaign mostly focus their work on family violence. One man, Potumoana Jeremy Apiraima, gives testimony as part of this campaign. He says, "I grew up an angry, aggressive young man who used my fist and my mouth to keep myself later to maintain control of my partners and children. Basically, I ruled with fear and no idea that this was not normal." Apiraima was similar to Jake in that they used their fists to control their families. They have very similar anger problems that affect their family members horrifically. He then says, "My message is simple. If you are a young man heading down this dark road, then ask for help before you go to damage yourself and the ones you love." In New Zealand, family violence has committed a lot and has always been a problem. We need to help those people who need it. It's not okay.